What's going on, guys? It's Russ, and in today's video I wanted to go over a Phasecast build for Amara. As you all know, I have been doing my kinetic cast builds for a long time now at this point, but I'm now going to switch over and do a different style of Phasecast build. This build absolutely destroys Mayhem 10 and anything you want it to do. It will get you through everything, and I know a lot of you guys are getting tired over phase grasp and ties to bonds builds, so I wanted to switch it up. And if you want to play a build that'll get you through everything in the game on Mayhem 10 that's not that, this is definitely the build for you. As always, my builds are located in my Discord channel. If you would like to download them, the link for the Discord will be in the description. If you download the build, enjoy the video, find it helpful in any way, remember to drop a like and subscribe to the channel. It's not needed, but it really helps me out and I truly appreciate it. But with all that being said, let's get right into the build. Alright, so starting off with the gear, as you see, we have 3 of the same pistols, which are the Light Show, which is a new DLC weapon. I have 3 of each element and they all have the Phasecast anointing on them. Now, if you don't know much about the Light Show is essentially a smaller Monarch. And if you don't know about the Monarch is a very good weapon that puts out insane damage at close ranges, especially with the bipod. This is essentially that, but in pistol form, and you can be very mobile with it. It is a very fun gun to use, and it straight up just shreds everything on Mayhem 10 with ease. Now, like I said, I have every single element. Shock and corrosive is going to be very good for both takedowns, and incendiary is going to be very good for things like grave ward. Obviously, with being a pistol, you can kind of just swap in between whatever you want to do with them. Now, I also have an EMP5 right here. You might be wondering, well, this is a pistol build, why do you have an EMP5? This is just an open slot you have. You can honestly just run anything you want to. I just like running the EMP5 to get more movement speed so I can move around the map quicker. If you want to run a gun that applies a debuff, you can, like I said, you can literally just run whatever you want to. But being that it is a pistol build and, you know, slash Phasecast build, I'm not only going to use these, I also have other pistols over here if you would like to try these out. These are the main ones. If you just want to use these pistols, go for it. I mean, they literally get you through everything in the game with ease. But I also have some other weapons right here that are just some of the DLC weapons with Phasecast anoints. The Bloom can be pretty fun. The Unkempt Terrell is a classic. The Gargoyle is really good for armor targets, but I don't know if it's as good as the Light Show. I have a Nemesis right here with the Phasecast, and then the classic Maggie with the Phasecast if you want to bring back those kinetic cast vibes. The Maggie still shreds on Mayhem 10, and I figured I had to include it with this. Is the Maggie as good as the Light Show? I don't know about that, but the Maggie is still a super fun gun to use. But now for gear, I have a Phase Zerker right here where we get 36% max cooldown rate, 12% more Vladoff weapon damage, and 18% more Vladoff weapon fire rate. Obviously, those two are really good for the Light Show. More fire rate and more damage on top of a gun that already shoots fast and has a lot of damage. Plus, the actual cooldown rate is very good for the Phasecast. And if you don't know what the Phase Zerker does, you get max rush stacks every time you use your action skill, and your rush stacks now also give you more gun damage and cooldown rate. Plus, this also just gives you an additional 5 rush stacks. So that's really good. Then I have a Pearl of Enough Knowledge right here. This essentially just gives you more damage than when you shoot an enemy. It stacks up to 15 times, and it max stacks you an additional 90% more damage. And it's really easy to get this stacking when you have a gun shooting out 4 shots at once and shooting out really quick. It's very easy to get this max damage proc. But to help with that, as you see, we have 13% more fire rate on here and 54% more magazine size, which is just insanely good for these. More magazine size, more fire rate on both of these right here. You're gonna be spamming these things. But then I have its Piss Grenade here with bonus radiation damage. This is just, I have all 4 ASCs whenever you need to swap them out. Whatever you want to use. If you want to use a different grenade, you can as well. I just like using this to apply debuffs if you ever need to. Then for shields, I have an Old God again with all 4 ASC anoints on them. Whatever you're getting yourself into, you can run whatever you need. Now, the Old God also gives you 20% more damage to whatever the element is resisting. So that's very good. So that's just even more damage. So if you're running something like your shock, when most of the time you probably want to run the shock Old God to get 20% more shock damage. But then I have a artifact right here as well with the Cup Press Launch Pad. This essentially, when you slam down, you're going to generate rockets. And when those rockets hit people, you get ammo back. Since you're running only pistols, you might have to use this every now and then. The Light Show, it's pretty good on ammo consumption. It doesn't straight up tear through your ammo, but being that it is a Vladoff at a high fire rate, it kind of can, you know, get you down a little bit. But you normally can come across vending machines or just ammo pickups before you run out of ammo. But if you ever have to use it, I'm including it. But now getting into the skills, I'm putting 3 points in fast hands so we get more reload speed and weapon swap speed. This is really good for swapping out all your guns if you need to swap to different elements, or if you want to swap to get that more movement speed. and obviously the reload speed is really good. 1 point Do Harm and 1 point Violent Tapestry to help keep our rush stacks up. We're not going to be taking advantage of the elemental effect chance, and we're not really trying to do damage with our Phasecast. Even with 1 point and getting max rush stacks, it already does a pretty good amount of damage, especially if you're running shotguns, which I do the majority of the time. You can easily use the Phasecast to take out shields and finish them off with Incendiary Light Show. Next, add 5 points of Alacrity so we get more reload speed based on that rush stacks we have. This is a very, very good skill for the Light Show. The Light Show downfall is that it has a pretty slow reload speed, so this paired with Fast Hands literally lets you reload the thing really quick and pretty much negate its bad side of the gun, and you can just continue tearing through enemies with it. But then 3 points Transcend, so we get 38% max, 27% more critical damage. This is also very good for the Light Show because you tighten that spread up to hit crits even more easier, and then that crit damage is also getting increased. Then I got 2 points of Restless right here to get 10% more cooldown rate. This is not needed, but you gotta get down to the bottom. And honestly, even if it's just a slight increase to your actual cooldown rate paired with the Phasecast, I think this is still better than putting it in any other skills. But then 1 point Ascendant so we can buff whatever actual augment we're using, which will be Soul Sap to get health regen even more. Soul Sap and paired with Phasecast doing a lot of damage. You're pretty much going to get healed instantly. 3 points in from Rest right here, so we get even more fire rate, 12% more fire rate to be exact, and 44% more charge speed. Charge speed's whatever, but the 12% more fire rate paired with the Light Shows plus the Phasecast and the Pearl of Influent Knowledge, you have a lot of fire rate with these things. It's actually crazy how fast they shoot. But then 3 points in Lay Bare, so we get 25% more increased damage to whatever our Phasecast hits. Very, very good. Using our Phasecast is not only just giving us damage, we're also applying a debuff to the enemy. Then at 3 points of Rather here, get 20% more damage, 20% more after we pop our action skill, even more damage when we use our action skill. Then finally 1 point Avatar, so we can pop our Phasecast twice for cooldown, and we get 10 more rush stacks, so we can buff all our other skills even more. And obviously popping your action twice for cooldown is insanely good. It's going to give you more damage, and you can keep applying debuffs to people. Plus, it is also proccing your anoints, so you can get that 250% more damage from those two. It is absolutely crazy. But then going into Fist of Elements, I have 1 point Infusion right here, so if we ever use a projectile weapon, we can spawn more projectiles. And you also gotta get down to the bottom, so I just threw it in there. 3 points of Steady Hand, so we get more handling and accuracy. Very, very good for the Light Show. You make an already mobile weapon even more mobile, plus more accurate, so you can hit your crits even more. 5 points in Anima right here to buff our status effect damage and duration, plus whatever our action skill element we're using is getting buffed even more, which will be shocked. For the majority of the time you can switch it out, and that is the freedom in this build, which is really, really good. But then 5 points in Tempest to get 30% more elemental damage, 20% more shock damage. Again, even more elemental damage to make the Light Show do even more damage. Really, really good. 2 points of Wildfire so we can have a 16% chance to spread our elements. This is kind of whatever, but you got to get down to the bottom. And this also actually does help proc things like Armageddon right here, so you can already go on and start spreading your elements everywhere to do more damage to the next enemy. But then 1 point Deep Well to get 20% more magazine size with our Light Shows. Really, really good. 3 points Indiscriminate here, so all our bullets can ricochet. Now, Indiscriminate with the Light Show is actually really, really good. You're already spamming a lot of shots out. I've seen the ricochet straight up just go out and kill people alone. Like, it's actually crazy. Obviously, the ricochets do half the damage, which you're already doing. But if you're already doing an insane amount of damage, you're halving that insane damage to normal damage, and those normal damage ricochets are just killing everybody around. So that is the add clear capabilities of this build. It's actually crazy just seeing the Light Show. You're spraying one enemy, but other people are just dying. Like, it's really, really fun. But then 5 points is Sustainment, so whatever elemental damage we're doing with our weapon, we're getting back as 20% lifesteal. This is really, really good. This is going to just straight up always have max health. 5 points, especially with something like the Light Show, is overkill, but I like just overkilling it. And you gotta get down to the bottom, and honestly all the other skills you can take aren't really worth it. Maybe Conflux to help Armageddon out, but Sustainment I feel like is just a super good skill, and if you max it out you just are super tanky, so that's why I maxed it out. But then 1 point in Forceful Expression to get 18% bonus damage or whatever our action skill element is. This is also adding another projectile if we use a projectile weapon. This is really, really good, just more damage on top of whatever we're already doing, and there's really not much else to say about this. It's really good for 1 point. Then getting over into Brawl, 3 points of personal space, so when we're close to an enemy we get 36% more damage on top of what we're already doing. We're going to be very close with these pistols. You can straight up just get an insane amount of damage from this skill plus Forceful Expression and just melt everything. Then 3 points of root to rise, so we get more max health, which is going to be really good for things like sustainment, so we can heal it even more. And this is also allowing us to get down to Blight Tiger right here. So if we ever run a takedown, like the volume takedown, and you want to swap over to corrosion, you can do that. So now we have access to all 3 elements, and that is going to make this build absolutely insane. So that is the level 60 Phasecast Amara build. If you like playing around with pistols and just running and gunning, plus if you're also just getting tired of running ties to bind, this is definitely the build for you. With Indiscriminate and the light show, you pretty much can add clear. Obviously not just as good as ties to bind, but it holds up very, very well in comparison to it. So if you want to try a new build out, definitely check this one out. It is super fun, it is super effective, and if you just like watching bosses health bars just get destroyed, this is definitely the build for you. But like I said in the beginning of the video, my builds are located in my Discord channel if you'd like to download them, and the link to Discord will be in the description. And if you're down to build, enjoy the video, find it helpful in any way, remember to drop a like and subscribe to the channel. It's not needed, but it really helps me out, and it is truly appreciated. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.